Shavua Tov, a gute Woche. Story number 7 of the Shivchei HaBaal Shem Tov, called Beno Shel Rabbi Adam v'Haketavim, the son of Rabbi Adam Baal Shem, and the Ketavim, the writings, or as I've seen it in some translations, the manuscripts. We spoke at the beginning of last story that there were some writings that Rabbi Adam Baal Shem had found in a cave, and the explanation about what these are and where else they're mentioned I will put in the notes in Patreon, as well as all the notes in the story, since it's a very long story. So, Vehu, Rabbi Adam Baal Shem, of whom we spoke in last story, Asash Ailas Chalom Lemilim Sor Aksavim Shloi. Rabbi Adam did a question to a dream. Shailas Chalom, Shailat Chalom, is a way to connect with the heavens and ask for a question to be revealed through a dream. What was his question? To him to give these writings. He was old, he was going to leave this world, he wanted to know whom these writings should be given to. And it was revealed to him that he needed to go to, or they needed to be given to Rabbi Israel ben Eliezer in the city of Okup. Again, notes I will write on the Patreon. Prior to passing away, Rabbi Adam called his son, his only son, and told him, here are the ksavim, here are the manuscripts. They are, or they contain Razin Deoraita, the secrets of the Torah. They're the mystical secrets of the Torah. And these are not for you, says Rabbi Adam to his son, but you need to find a city called Okup, and there you need to find somebody called Yisrael ben Eliezer, who is now about 14 years old, and you should give him these writings, because they belong to Shoresh Nismashli, the root of his soul. If you have the schus, the merit that he will learn with you, that would be a very good thing. So says Rabbi Adam to his son. Well, after passing away, Moreinu Adam, his son, who was a great Torah scholar, he was great in his learning, he had good midos, good milos, his virtues were great. He took, as his father had told him, he took a cart with horses and went from city to city until he found the city of Okup, and there he lodged in the house of the Parnes HaChodesh, the man in charge of the charities of the town that month. And the Parnes HaChodesh asked him, who are you? Where you come from? You don't look like you're here to collect funds. So he said, well, my late father, he was a great tzaddik, and he asked me to come to this city, to this holy community in Okup, because here I would find a wife, and I must fulfill his will, his holy words. Immediately there was a great commotion in the city, and he received many shidduch proposals, of who she could marry, he could marry in order to fulfill the will of his father. And he accepted the daughter of a Nazi, of a very important man, and he found grace on everybody's eye. He made a big impression in the city. So he married her, and after the wedding, he began fulfilling his father's real will, looking for this man to whom to give the writings. And he found there was one Yisrael ben Eliezer, who was a helper. He served in the Beis Medrash, in the house of learning. And then he looked at him. Be'einecha pekicha, be'einek pekicha rather, with open eyes. It's an Aramaic expression from the Gemara, meaning he really checked him out and realized that even though he had a very simple appearance, there was something greater in him. He just didn't show it. And so the son of Rav Adam goes to his father-in-law and tells him that in the house where he lives, there is too much noise and distraction, and he can not learn Torah properly. So he would ask for a little space, a little mechitza, a little space in the Beis Medrash, in the house of learning, and there he will be able to learn as is proper. B'makom rina sham tiyeh tefillah, in a place of praise to Hashem. That's the proper place to pray and to learn and to do proper things. So his real intention going to the Beis Medrash was, of course, to check out the Baal Shem Tov and see his character, so see how he is. And the father-in-law immediately fulfilled what the son-in-law requested. So the request of the son of Rav Adam was fulfilled, and he went to the Beis Medrash, and they hired the Baal Shem Tov to serve him, and they would pay him for it, and so was that the Baal Shem Tov became his aide in the Beis Medrash. One night, when everybody was asleep, the son of Rav Adam also pretended to be sleeping, and he checked with his eyes semi-open that the Baal Shem Tov gets up at night and learns Torah and does his special service to Hashem, his prayers. And he checked out, Rav Adam started checking out the Baal Shem Tov one night, 2 nights. By the 3rd night, when the Baal Shem Tov got up to learn Torah, and took a nap, went to sleep for a little bit, the son of Rav Adam stood up and found one of the pamphlets of the writings. He touched one of the pamphlets and put it in front of the Baal Shem Tov, and then went back to pretending being asleep. The Baal Shem Tov woke up from his nap, and he found this kuntres, this pamphlet, and he was deeply moved, and he jumped to learn it, was attracted by it. When the Baal Shem Tov finished learning, he hid it under his sleeve. And so the next night, the son of Rav Adam did the same thing, and he realized this is clearly the man his father sent him to look for. So he called him, Israel, and told him, my father, of blessed memory, gave me these writings, and he asked me to give them to you. Here are all the writings, and I ask you, Adoni, sir, may my soul be loved to you. Allow me to learn with you. And so the Baal Shem Tov says, all right, good, but on the condition that no one beside you should know that you're learning with me. And no one should know what we are doing to get up at night to get together. You will continue giving me orders like I was hired to serve you, as we were doing until now. And so they continued. So the pretense is the Baal Shem Tov is under him. In reality, the Baal Shem Tov is teaching him. It happened that the son of the Rav told his father-in-law that he wanted more seclusion, he wanted a better place, and would it be possible to find a house outside of the city, and there he would dedicate himself to learning Torah in full, the service to Hashem, to pray, to do everything properly. And since he was very respected by his father-in-law, he also requested that the young Israel ben Eliezer come and accompany him and serve him when he needs. So did the father-in-law fulfill their will and brought him to a house outside of the community. That became their basis bodilus, the house of seclusion. And Rabbi Israel would be learning with the son of Rav Adam. And when people in the community realize that this is going on, that the two of them are learning, they assume that because of the father of the Baal Shem Tov, he now has the special merit to have this Rav who comes and teaches him Torah. The community wanted the Baal Shem Tov also to be married, even though he was very young. In those days, it was not unusual to be married so young, so they found him a wife. However, she did not live very long. After a few days, she got sick and she passed away. Anyway, the son of Rav Adam and the Baal Shem Tov go into this base, it's bodidus, in this house of seclusion, and they learn, and they start going through the order of learning of Gafat, Gemara, Perush Rashi, and Tosafot, Toisvis, and then the Poskim, and then all the Tavei Kodesh, all the Tanakh. And when they learn the Ksav and they learn the writings, the manuscripts from the father of the Rabbi Adam, they learn from it Kabbalah Elokis and Kabbalah Maasis, divine Kabbalah and practical Kabbalah. So one day, the son of Rabbi Adam tells the Baal Shem Tov to please make the Sar HaTorah, one of the greatest of the Malachim, of the angels, to come down here to explain to me a difficulty in Torah. The Baal Shem Tov said, no. You see, if we make a mistake in our Kavanah, when we're bringing him, it could be very dangerous. Chas v'shalom. And we don't have the ashes of the red heifer, of the para aduma, which will allow us to be pure and then not be in this danger. So says the Baal Shem Tov. But the son of Rabbi Adam begs him and insists day after day until the Baal Shem Tov can no longer say no. So they go into a preparation. For a whole week, since after Shabbos until next Shabbos, they do a hafsaka. They fasted the entire week, and they went to mikvah and has special preparations. And Motzi Shabbos, after this whole week, they sit down and they do these known kavanos, that they knew for what they were learning. And suddenly Baal Shem Tov says, Voi, we brought the Sar HaEsh. We brought the wrong angel. This is not the Sar HaTorah, the minister of the Torah. This is Sar HaEsh. This is an angel of fire. The explanation I'll write later. And what happens? The city is going to burn in a fire now. And people see you as a chassid, as a pious man. They didn't yet call the followers of the Baal Shem Tov the Hasidim. So chassid here means a pious man. You must go now to your father-in-law and then to the whole city, and they'll tell them they have to be safe from this big fire that's going to be. They have to, leave the places where the fire is coming. And indeed, people listen, and this whole city went up in fire. And from then on, the son of Rav Adam became a great man in front of everybody's eyes. They believed he was a miracle worker, a divine man, an Ish Mofet, a wonder man. Well, not many days later, the son of Rav Adam came back to the Baal Shem Tov as they were learning, and again asked him to bring the Sar HaTorah. And the Baal Shem Tov again said no. And he kept begging and insisting until the Baal Shem Tov had to fulfill the will of the son of Rav Adam. And again they went into the Hafsaka of a whole week of fasting, as we mentioned before. And Motzi Shabbos, they sit down to do the kavanos, as we mentioned before, and suddenly the Baal Shem Tov stood up again. Because of what we just did, the smallest mistake in the kavana, right? This what we just did, just brought a sentence from above. Somebody's gonna die tonight. One of us is gonna. We need to do a takana, stand up and be awake the entire night doing these kavanos to do a nullification of the sentencing from above. Bad dina batel dina. What we're going to do is going to nullify the sentencing from above. The expression comes from the Gemara Sanhedrin 95a. Okay, special sound effects on the background. Well, the Baal Shem Tov tells him one thing. If we fall asleep even for a short while, chas v'shalom, this sleep will come from sitra de muta, meaning from the side of death. And then the Baldavar, the Satan, will grab from there and take control. So they stood up the whole night, awake, doing the kavanos, but before the first light of the morning, the son of Rav Adam couldn't defend his life, meaning he fell asleep a bit. The Baal Shem Tov saw this and immediately ran and make a lot of noise. The son of Rav Adam woke up to faint, and he could not be awakened. They tried everything, he was gone. And he was buried with great honors. And so is the story. This story requires explanations, which I will write down, and B'ezrat Hashem by tomorrow should have in my Patreon page. Please like, subscribe, share, give the stories of the Baal Shem Tov to others, and if you care to give a donation of any size toward the publication of these stories in Spanish, I'm working in the translation of the Shivchei HaBaal Shem Tov into Spanish, all on my own. I appreciate contributions in my Patreon page, link below. Shavua Tov, a gute Woche.